Alright, so as it states in the title, this video is going over the basics of playing this game. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and get that started now. Essentially, we're going to start over here with the toolbox. The toolbox allows you to do what's called upgrades on your ability to do different things. So essentially, the more points you get, the more skill points you earn, which are earned by increasing your level, much like you should be or probably are familiar with if you've played any modern video games. Um, yeah, by increasing your level, you gain skill points, and you could utilize those skill points towards things such as your movement speed here. Not the most important skill as far as I'm concerned. You could also use it for things such as reinnovation. That gives you the ability to repair different groups of parts. Essentially, parts, and let me just show you what I mean by that. And I'm sure you probably already know if you're playing this game, but parts are things like a supercharger. You got the throttle here. You got the fuse box cover. You got your tires. You got your shock absorbers. I mean, essentially all that. But all those things fall in different groups of parts. And this skill tree is what you can refer to it as. Essentially gives you the ability to fix higher and higher groups of parts. It's, in my opinion, one of the most important skill trees to have in this game if you're looking to, progress further in the game faster, as far as, gaining a higher level faster in the game. Now, this skill tree is in regards to the speed of your screw. So, essentially how fast you could screw different parts in. And I'll demonstrate that in a moment after I'm finished going over the skill tree here as far as the upgrades, as well as this next one here we'll get into in a moment. But yeah, this is essentially just how fast you could screw bolts in. Now over here, this one is increasing your mounting speed. So for each point you put into this, well, each level, because each level requires a different amount of points, such as you could see over here. Like this first one would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you get the picture. But you can just put in points here, and that'll increase your mounting speed, much like all the rest of the skill tree here. Now, on this one, you get a discount for this first level of this skill tree, but then the second level you get a discount on the parking. So the first level is a discount on parts, second level is parking, third level is another discount on parts, so at 5% plus 5%. So at this level you would have a 10% discount on parts. And you come up to this level, it gives you the ability to inspect value of the vehicle, which, that would be important if you were getting into the junkyard a lot, and let's say you were purchasing a broken down vehicle in order to fix it up and resell it. I know personally I do that often, and I'm sure I will post a video in regards to it not too far from this timeline. So, sure, if you look in my catalog of videos about a year from now, you're going to see it. Anyways, I digress. On this skill tree, you got this next level here, which will be the 5th level. This will give you another 5% discount to your parts. That adds up to about 15% discount in total. And once you get this last portion here, that'll be the 6th level. You get a 25% chance to get a mysterious case after finishing an order. I mean, The mysterious cases are really good if you like to go to barns and like collect vehicles from there. And, we can go over that in a moment after we get through both of these skill trees and, just demonstrating some of what this stuff is in a actual vehicle. But, yeah, so that, you could just get different locations to barns. You can get different parts within them. It's essentially like one of those boxes you purchase online. If you get a retro box, you can get a lot of retro stuff each month. It's similar to that. But if you go over here, this will be the last option on the skill tree. Much like all the rest of them, it has 6 different levels. It just cuts the time for it takes to examine parts. So first portion is 0.05 seconds. Not going to notice that too much, but as you progress, you'll see here it just adds more time. The last 2 levels have 0.15 seconds. First 4 levels have 0.05 seconds. So by the time you get to the first 0.15 seconds, you'll probably start to notice pretty good, enhancement as far as that goes. Now, in my opinion, I wouldn't worry about that tree at all until you get, like, let's go back here and get the screws. That's going to be more beneficial as far as leveling goes. Uh, Definitely get this entire tree for fixing parts, because that's going to save you money in the long run and essentially add the finances to not only be able to afford more parts, but in a moment I'll show you, how else that'll contribute. Um, Let me see. Increased mounting, that's, I'd say, kind of second degree importance to both the screwing and the reinnovation tree. And you got the discounts, not going to really worry about that too much. That's going to be second degree. So, this puts this tree as well as this tree at third level. I'd say third degree importance. And this would probably be, like I said, like second degree, maybe third degree. It's iffy, really up to you, I guess. Up to you, the viewer. So we go over here. This will be the garage tools section. Now, this is a fun tree. And I say that because you don't have to build skill points in order to purchase things from this tree. It's all based on your ability to make credit or money or however you would like to think of it. So essentially we have the garage expansion here. This, just like the description says, it expands your garage and allows further development of workspace. So, and we go over here and build a paint shop near your garage. In order to even do that, you have to have this achievement here in order to unlock this one. That's how that would go. And we go over to the dyno, and essentially that adds a dyno to your shop. It's another building nearby. We can also go over that here in just one moment. You have to excuse me, I didn't get much sleep last night, and my voice is not primed. When I'm in my normal life, I hate people. Let's say. But, so yeah, you get the dyno. Dyno, essentially you test your vehicle's performance, your vehicle's horsepower. And with the dyno, it also gives you the ability to, take it off of the dyno, add parts, and you can take it back and just see what an improvement it made with said parts, such as if you were going to add an aftermarket throttle, an aftermarket fuel rail, an aftermarket air filter, just stuff like that. But Over here, you're going to find a lifter. So this is going to add a second lifter to your garage. And what a lifter is, let me just show you that real quick. These are lifters. And these lifters essentially give you the ability to lift vehicles, such as this one right here. So what we could do is we could just go ahead and click that. And as you can see, it lifts it up so you can get underneath it and work on whatever you need to work on there. But, I'm just going to put it down for now, as I like to stare at it. But so yeah, that's a lifter. And this over here is a paint level. Really not the most important, especially not for 7,500 credits. Just allows you to add advanced color palettes to paint your vehicle with. You know, more colors. For me, it's just aesthetics and not important at all. I mean, I don't believe the color is really going to change the value of the vehicle as far as this game is concerned. So, I wouldn't pay too much attention to that if it were me. But, over here we have salvaging. This is, I'd say it's of second level importance maybe. I mean, it does give you the ability to upgrade parts, and the more upgraded parts you install in a vehicle, the more value it'll add to it. So, like, let's say if you were going to the junkyard and you were rebuilding a vehicle, if you put in all aftermarket parts and all those aftermarket parts were upgraded, you're going to make more money off of the resale than you would with just aftermarket parts. So that's that. And this one would be a warehouse. So this will expand your garage by warehouse. Allows to store and sort spare parts. Now, let me just show you what that is real quick. That'll be over here. And you'll see how I have all these shelves. Essentially, it doesn't matter which one you click on. Whichever one you click on, and it's going to open this window, which will start with your inventory. See down here, it gives you the option of moving certain things in your inventory over into the warehouse. You click over here, this will show you everything you have in your warehouse. Now obviously, both with your inventory as well as your warehouse, you could break them up into different categories. This will be for suspension, engine parts, braking system, exhaust, transmission, body parts, and kind of the wheels. This would include both rims, tires, stuff like that. That's pretty much it there. And this one, as you can see, is sets. So if you have a set of tires already attached to the rim, it would show up here. If you have spare engines, like you see I have here, this one I'm particularly proud of, and I'm sure you'll see it in the future build in the future. But yeah, those show up there. Anyways, back to the tree here. And move on to the warehouse. So this one allows to change the look of some parts of your garage. Essentially changing the appearance of different sections of your garage. That includes not only the main garage, but you could also do it with the dyno shop as well as the paint shop. Not so much with the scrapping shop. And I shouldn't say paint shop, it's actually a body shop is what we refer to it in auto mechanics. Look at the shop, you would essentially come over there to the ladder over in this area like you saw, and you get to choose different garage floors. Now, when you adjust the different categories of garage floors, this, not only do you see it here, but different categories, different looks. Kind of looks cool, you know. Make it anything you'd like. But within different categories, you could adjust different things as well. Just the upper portion of it kind of I like to change it to match the lower portion of it myself, but you could change that to anything you would like, really. And you got the garage door. As you can see, that changes the walls and the lifters. Change the colors of the lifters and lifter arms. Change the lifters themselves as well as the certain parts on the lifter, such as these two and that one there. And you got the tire changer. I don't really bother with that myself, but it does give you the ability to change the machine that essentially allows you to take on and off a tire. Go over here, you can change the colors on the wheel balancer, and that being the machine that allows you the ability to balance the tire onto the rim. And you got the lockers. Again, I don't really worry about it too much myself. It's one of those aesthetic things I don't really care about. You could change it there. And you could change the cabinets. Changing the colors there. That's kind of nifty. And we go over here, building upper walls. You can change the color of the exterior of the building. That's pretty cool, especially the first time you do it. It really adds to the look and feel of the place, especially when you're parking your vehicles out here, which you could do once you start to own a few of them. But here you could change just the brickwork of the building, lower walls as it states there, and the garage gates, essentially the garage doors, counters, kind of cool, and the workshop floor. This will just allow you to change the different floor patterns to the workshop. And you got the workshop upper walls, just like in the main room, you could change that. And the lower walls, just like in the main room. And this will take it over to the test path floor. So you could change that. And test path floor B, this is just different portions of it. And test path service, see that. Upper walls, much like in the workshop, you can change that. And the lower walls. And you got the paint shop here, upper walls, and lower walls. And the floor. Over in that section anyway, floor B is over in that section, and floor C, or as they refer to it as, paint shop terrain grid A, is changing part of that, and then B will be a different section of it. And inside the paint shop, change that floor, change this outer portion of it, and change the building itself, color to the building, and as well as the lower walls. And you got the garage test path. I'm not really going to go over this much more. I mean, I'm sure you get the idea. You know, you could essentially change this with the car wash. You could change it in the dyno. You could change every section, including the floors A, B, the lower portion, the upper portion, all of that, and every one of these expandable buildings if you so choose to get them. Or more like when you so choose to get them. But, Yeah, so that's there to play with. And then you can come over here. You got the paint shop. I wish previously when we went over this we didn't do it horizontally. Sorry for confusing anybody, but essentially the paint shop level 1 starts here, paint shop level 2 starts there, and 3 starts here. 3 is just giving you the ability to add more customized colors as well as liberties. Not really going to go over that in depth, not in this video, but yeah, that's what that gives you the ability to do. You also have the car wash here. The car wash is necessary in order to paint any vehicles, otherwise it adds an additional fee to paint the vehicle. So with that, you also get this, and they give you that in your shop. Now, personally, I didn't even realize that was there until level 10. Kind of the reason I'm pointing it out here, but you have the ability to move that over here to your vehicle, and you can actually use that in the shop, saving you the time and effort of actually going over to the car wash section of your garage. But, let's get back over here, and you can see we have the next level. So once you get the warehouse, you can get the test path, and the test path is essentially where you would go to run tests on a vehicle. So like, let's say you got a new vehicle in the garage you're working on and you needed to test it out to see what the problems were with the brakes, suspension, the bushings, just anything on the lower portion like that. You would just take it over to the test path, run through that, and that'll diagnose any of those problems for you so you could get those repaired. Well, you come over here, you have the window tint toolkit. I love this one. It's not important to the main game, you know, as far as repairing vehicles you get in the shop. Anyways, let's go back over here. Now this adds a welder to your garage, where essentially it extends your garage and gives you the ability to service body parts. And those would include things like the door panels, the hood, the side panels, and you know, the bumpers, pretty much any body parts you would normally service. This would be a compression tool. Alright, so with that compression tool, essentially what you're going to be doing is going through here, click additional tools, compression tester, and this will run. And that'll just test different parts within the engine, such as all the parts you see listed there. And also electric. See all those parts there. That would just go through if any of them were not in good order. It's great when we're preparing vehicles from the order list in the shop. And this is a tablet, so you don't necessarily need this. You already have your computer over here if need be to order parts, but if you choose not to go there, you could also just right click and go to the tablet. Once you unlock that, it'll show you the same thing, but that way you don't have to go all the way over to the computer, and it just saves time on the repair, which could benefit you monetarily when you turn the vehicle over to the customer. But that's that. And then you have the charger. This is the battery charger. You can find that right over here in the corner. And right here you have a tire tread gauge. That essentially is useless as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it just tells you the level of the tires themselves. So, like, let's say you had a tire that was at 70% tread left. It's gonna give you that information. Quite honestly, you could always tell by taking the tire off, but if you go over here, and let me show you how I got here, you just go to additional tools and tire tread tester, and that'll go through each tire you have on the vehicle and show you how much tread you have left. Only time in which I would purchase that is once you've purchased everything necessary to the game itself, and let's say you just wanted to get the achievement for having all the skills unlocked. That's really the only time I would ever purchase that. But when you go up here to the onboard diagnostics, this adds the OBD scanner, which is kind of useful. It essentially just gives you the ability to right click here, go to additional school, tools, and click OBD scanner at the top. Now, assuming your vehicle isn't as old as this vehicle is, it would give you the ability to view any bad parts that were linked to that diagnostic tool. So let's go over here and give it a try here. This is a newer vehicle, so it would be compatible here. We'll just run that OBD scanner on this vehicle. As you can see, some of the parts are subpar, 96%, 91% for this repair. I believe it needs, probably better percentage than that I would like to see, as it is based in performance and not just repairing the parts. I mean, usually you can get away with having something that's less than 90%, depending on what the chart says over here. Like if you go to this main screen, you can just right click that engine, go to car status. This will show you what level you need under this menu. In this case, it's at least 95%. So that's there. And down here, engine tools. This adds an engine stand crane to your garage. This is really useful. It's actually right over here. Well, as you can see here, we have added an engine, and this will give you the ability to open up the engine and just do work on the engine. Like say you're removing ignition coils, remove those, and you can also rotate it so you can get that work done a little faster. For instance, here you see I do not have an oil pan installed to the vehicle, so if you flipped it, you could flip it like this, and what you would do is get all of these rods, caps installed, and as well as this and this. These would be the bearings for the actual camshaft. You get those installed, and you would put a oil pan on, which I will not be doing at this time, but you get the picture. So diagnostic, tool stand, and you got your brake lead. This will help you repair any rotors that you might need to repair over on this piece of equipment right here. If you had any rotors you wanted to say resurface in order to make them usable on a build you're repairing, that would be useful. It is one of the more useful tools, especially when it comes to saving cost. Now, here we have the fuel pressure meter. This will just test any component of your fuel system. So like we were doing before, we're just going to right click there and go to fuel pressure test, and assuming the engine we're able to start, we'll just test it over here. fuel pressure test. That's going to test every part of which is showing up in the upper left-hand corner, and then you'll see it here. So, that. And then you go over here. This will give you the body repair station. This adds a repair table to your garage to repair body panels. That's right over here, so if you have any body parts that need to be repaired, you just take them there and repair them. I'm not going to go too in depth with that in this video, but it's pretty self-explanatory once you do it. And this will be the workbench. The workbench allows you to fix mechanical parts. That, much like the body repair, and it's kind of ran under the same mechanics. It's right over here. You would repair it in much the same way as you would with body parts. This will be the electric meter. It adds electric meter to your diagnostic toolkit. So essentially you can go over here, you can go to electric meter, and this will scan through all the electronic components within your vehicle and tell you what the degree is as far as the percentage. They may or may not need to be repaired. So that's great. Useful. And yeah, so that about sums this up right there. Yes, and earlier, I believe we were going over a few of these parts earlier. As far as the garage expansion, you do need that in order to get the lifter and the customization. As well as the paint shop. You know, you need that before you can get the paint shop or the dyno. But, yeah, so that's there. You got the paint levels, salvaging station, warehouse. So salvaging station is right over here. You can go here to salvage old parts. If you want to scrap them for salvage, which you'll see up here, you could scrap them, and then you could upgrade other parts such as these air filters to a higher quality that would, like I was saying before, in turn give you a higher payout if you're repairing a vehicle for a customer, or if you're just restoring a vehicle, it would give you a higher payout there. Now, see the fast hands, that just has to do with screwing and the mounting speed. And let me just show you how that works here real quick. So for me, it's going to screw at the top speed that you are able to, but let me just give you an example of what they mean by screwing. Essentially just like that, just unscrewing stuff and screwing it back in. Just like that. So that's kind of what that is. That also goes with the mounting, kind of. I mean, the mounting is probably, you see how you take that off and you can put that on. It's kind of the speed in which that occurs. But that also goes for the headlights, the speed at which that would occur for you. But that's about that. And the running speed, as you can see, if the default key to enhance your running speed would be the shift key. If you hold it down, it'll allow you to run through faster. The more points you get in that tree, the faster you go. I mean, it's not really important. I gotta be honest, half the time I forget it's even available. But yeah, so you have that, and you have this tire changer where you could separate the tire from the rim. That I could demonstrate for you here. We're just gonna go over here, get the tires. Let's get one that we already have available. So essentially, I'm going to separate the tire from the rim. On that, you just click onto it and click the separate option. And take that off, and then we're just going to add it. Well, before we add it to the balancer, you have to reinstall it. So we'll just go to install, standard tire, and that's what that looks. And then we're going to balance it. Now, you do have to balance any tire before you are able to put it back onto the vehicle. So, in this section, you just go there and you click on it and then you go to balance. And you're just going to use your left or right buttons. For me, it's the A and the D key. For me, it would be space bar for the action key. To balance it, at that point you would take it off and put it onto whatever vehicle you have. Personally, I'm just going to put it back in my warehouse as I am not currently using that. But, yeah, so that's how that works. Okay, so as far as the window tinting go, we have this tool right over here. So essentially you can move this over to the vehicle and use this tool, and this will give you the ability to change the tinting of the windows to any color you would like. You can click black here, and this will change the levels at which the tint would be. I like to black out most cars I do, because I think it looks pretty cool. Besides some classic vehicles. But that's how that works. And this will be the end of the tutorial. If you have any comments or any places you feel I might be able to improve on these videos, please notate it in the commentation section below. Don't forget to like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you.